Today is the second day I'm taking this course on AI Associate Path for Developers. Now we're in the second chapter of the whole path, and now we're gonna do prompt engineering with OpenAI. Basically, in the previous chapter, in the previous two lives that I did, we were just basically connecting with the OpenAI endpoint. We were making sure that we set up the whole environment correctly. We just make like a few prompts. We make different techniques like one-shot prompting, multi-shot prompting. We were playing with the variables there, like adjusting the temperature, the maximum number of tokens of the output, or we're also calculating the prices, making the chat history, and many like basic configurations. The second course, more or less as far as I understand, we're going to go into more advanced technique still with OpenAI API, because as you may know, we don't need to use the one of the public APIs and pay for it. We can also use local models, but as for the moment, just for the sake of the course, we're going to keep doing that for today, I guess, because then the next chapter is doing something similar, probably, but with Hugging Face. So let's jump right into it.
Welcome to this course. I'm Fuad, and I'm a machine learning engineer working on leveraging AI to improve cybersecurity. I'll guide us through prompt engineering techniques to maximize ChatGPT's capabilities. Let's dive in. What is prompt engineering? Prompt engineering refers to crafting prompts or instructions given to large language models or LLMs to get desired responses. Prompt engineering is like whipping up a recipe for a meal. Just as a chef picks out the right ingredients and mixes them together to create something delicious, prompt engineering involves carefully crafting prompts to steer the model toward the desired outputs. And just as high-quality ingredients lead to high-quality meals, in prompt engineering, high-quality prompts lead to high-quality answers, and low-quality prompts lead to low-quality answers. In this course, we'll explore various prompt types and applications using the OpenAI Python package to test our prompts. The package allows to interact with the OpenAI API programmatically using a key. Creating an API key isn't required to complete this course, but you can create your own key if you'd like to have it for future work. Various endpoints can be accessed through the API, but the main one used for chatting is chat completions. Every API message has one of the three roles: user, assistant, or system. System messages provide instructions to guide the model's behavior throughout the conversation. User messages are prompts from the user, and assistant messages are the responses to user prompts. Recall that the API has helpful control parameters. One of these is temperature, a value between 0 and 2 that controls the randomness of the answer. 2 makes the answer highly random, and 0 makes it deterministic. Another parameter is max tokens, which controls the desired response length. To ask what is prompt engineering via the API, we set up the client by calling the OpenAI class and setting the API key. Then, we call the chat.completions.create function, specifying the model and messages as a list of dictionaries with the role and content. We set the temperature to 0 for deterministic answers and do not specify max tokens to allow full responses. Finally, we print the response. We will use this code block a lot for API communication throughout the course. To avoid writing it every time, we wrap the code inside a function named getResponse that takes a prompt as input and sends it to the API just as before. Instead of printing the response, the function returns it as output. Now, we can call this function with one line of code and save the returned value in a variable we can print. Prompt improvement now becomes a matter of modifying the prompt we're giving to the function. For instance, we can modify our previous prompt to let the model explain prompt engineering in terms that a 5-year-old can understand. The new response is written using more basic vocabulary and compares prompt engineering to giving clear instructions to a friend. And now let's practice.
Sure. So, OpenAI API message roles. You're developing a chatbot for an event management agency that will be used to facilitate networking during events. Using the OpenAI API, you prepare a dictionary to pass as the message to the chat completions endpoint. Okay, we have all of the messages with the role. With each one of the roles, we need to fill the roles here. We also have the OpenAI. So we need to first do this, then this is the system. What are some good conversation starters and networking events? This is going to be the user, and I guess this is gonna be the response. Then I'm gonna simulate. It can be something like, hi, How have you been working lately? Well, I guess this is not the best starter, um, the best starter text, but it's just an example. So when we create the completions object, we pass these conversations here, and then we print the message. But I guess that if there's 3, then the next one is gonna be, well, let me run it through. What? Name content is not defined? Wait, maybe let's reload this again, because sometimes it happens that I need to reload the page so I can run this properly. I don't know where's that. So this should be system user and assistant. Here I'll put hi. What have you been working lately? Name here. OpenAI. So I guess that if I pass here the last message as the role assistant, then it's gonna keep sending me more like intro. So this is gonna be like an example of what, like a one-shot prompt. And here I'm passing an example of what the system should reply, and then based on that, I'm gonna get the next message. Okay, that's good. That's good. So this is one way to do it. So I guess this is gonna be. I'm gonna open Visual Studio right now, and I'm gonna clear this because I don't need all of that. Then you know what? Maybe because this is gonna be like OpenAI intro, and this is gonna be prompt engineering with OpenAI. So I'm gonna make a new folder, not here, here. I'm gonna create a new folder. No. Okay, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna do it here. Here. Prompt engineering. Open AI. So we'll copy this one. I'll cut it. I'll put it here. And this is gonna be AI message roles. And they're gonna do the same here. So yeah, I think I cannot can just do this. Here, define the conversation messages, the client here, and everything. So now if I run Python, and then okay, and then I do Python 1. Just something similar that I got in the prompt in that data camp. So this is the response that I got from OpenAI. So here's some effective conversation starters for networking events. That's good. One thing that I don't like, and I'm gonna ask that here, is that okay, you are an expert software engineer. Now I'm trying to, because each time that I am copying basically all of this part, and I don't want to do that. So I am basically gonna try to put this into some model or into some file, and I can import it. So I just import one line, and then I can just run the rest. Copy a relative path on this file. All of these lines of code are going to be repetitive in the follow in the new files. Can you analyze how can we create a module? So we just import all of it into one line in the next file. Make a plan and let me know if you have any questions. So yeah, I'm gonna ask the cloud, how can I just like put this into a helper or something like that. And meanwhile it's doing that, I'm gonna just jump into, whoa, there was an error with syntax error. Okay, that's good. Very good. Okay, and the next one, creating the get response. Okay, so here what we're doing is modularizing all of this. So basically we put this into a function. So here should be completions. House completions. Chat completions create. Client chat completions create. To find them all the messages, the prompt. Okay. So basically here you make a function definition, and then here you put the prompt, and then you print the response. So it's now I'm getting the preloaded response. I mean, now it's saying that in this environment of datacamp, where they are gonna have now this get response like function defined in the environment, so I don't need to define it again. Good. So okay, let's check the response that I got from cloud. Repetition is real. Okay, so it's gonna create an OpenAI client py. Here are the shared models. So in the one of AMS is going to use the import. Okay, the model set engineering rather than the repo root. That's good. Yeah, because I just want to keep clean the other one. That was the other course. Yeah, because it won't. Okay, if you later want it shared, we can revisit it. Now, as far as now, we can revisit that again. But I just don't want to copy all of these lines again and again and again. It's also asking me that I can just define also the model, like in the the model that I can use in the model, but so far no. So go ahead, accept accept accepting the optional extra. We can do that later. So it's gonna restructure this file. So all of this is in another file. It's gonna be created into OpenAI client Pi, which is a shared model inside of this folder here. So I don't need to define all over again. Yes, yes, please do. Yeah, it's deleting from here and moving it there. No, sorry. It's getting some errors here. Okay, let's see what it throws. I think if I also run this stuff, if I also run this one, should work the same. It's already because if as far as it's in the same level folder, it should have no problems on importing it. But let's see how it's gonna roll. Good. So I think it works good. So then for the next one, which is going to be the next one is called oh, now we're creating the get response definition. So here's the get response definition. So now we're basically doing define the get response, and then here we're gonna do something like what is the recommended path to learn AI if I am a developer? I'm gonna save it. And then I do Python 2. You just want to check that the definition it's good. I think here's getting an error because it's trying to. It is really trying to run it from the root folder. So okay, one second. I guess if instead of trying to run it from root folder, first you can navigate navigate to prompt engineering OpenAI and then run the Python script would work right away. And that should be it, I guess. I think it's trying to run it from the root folder, and in that case it's gonna be, of course, you need to do more like definitions. It sounds really good. I mean, it's not the idea of this course, you know. You don't want to. It's not a Python course. It's an AI course. Got it. Got it. So it's good. So I need to define. Okay, so it wants me to define the variables here. This is super nice. I forgot that in Python you can do that. You can just define you can just put the name of the variable there. Okay. Did you correctly specify the first argument? Yes, I did. And it's working. Okay, maybe again. I need to reload the page. It's so annoying. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Okay, let's do a new chat on this exercise. This is my code. But I'm getting this error. Can you please analyze why? Shit, I didn't read. Try a function with a prompt that has the model to write a poem about ChatGPT. Okay, that's the error. You are an expert on literature. Can you please write a poem about ChatGPT? Got it. All good. Okay, the next one. Explore prompt engineering. Why is it doing all of this stuff? I don't know. It's trying to execute, but maybe it's blocking something. So maybe this is something about the, because sometimes I think that the cloud cannot like I need to give explicit permissions to execute like external calls. So I guess I don't need to spend time on tokens on this. It's not worth it. Okay, let's go to the next one. Exploring prompt engineering. Prompt engineering refers to the crafting effective prompts to guide the language model towards the intended response. By refining your prompts, you can achieve better results and guide the model towards generative, more accurate, and useful responses. Your task in this exercise is to modify the prompt used in the previous exercise. So it's basically just calling the sign. I'm gonna do get response and craft a prompt that asks the model to generate a poem about ChatGPT while ensuring that it's written in basic English and the child can understand it. So I'm gonna pass the prompt equals to prompt, and then I'm gonna say you are an expert in poetry. Please generate a poem about ChatGPT while ensuring the language you use can be understood by a child. Yes, here's a in a world of words so bright and wide, lives as a friendly right at your side, Chavity, the name, the magical friend. Okay, got it. So I guess that in this new one, I'm gonna do something like this. Get response. I'm gonna define a new this get response function. So in this case, I need to just do this. Then on here, I have the definition of get response, which I'm gonna put here. Client is defined here, so everything is like self-contained. And then in the third one, get response test. I'm gonna make use of that from get response import get response, because the model is defined like get response here too. So I don't need to define all of this, and I'm just gonna do this here. I have the prompt, I have the get response defined, it's coming from another file. And then if I save this, I have too many files open, I'm gonna close some of them. Okay, and then if I run here Python the number 3, which is the test, I should get the similar response to what I got in the data camp environment. Yeah, so it's good. So we have modularized the whole OpenAI, like the whole definition of the object. We also have defined the get response, so we don't need to create all of this chat completions create object again. So basically now we have everything. So we just import that function get response, and we get a response directly from ChatGPT. So it's really good. This is a task of modularization. It says, did your program ask for a point about ChatGPT using English that I actually can understand? Okay, so then I will just make sure that I mention the word English. Maybe they're checking for that. Yeah, that's correct. I'm just going to copy this prompt fully. That's it. Let's continue to the next one. Key principles of prompt engineering. Okay.
Now we'll dive into the key principles of prompt engineering to create more effective prompts. When interacting with an LLM, we aim for clear and precise prompts to achieve the best results. This is like guiding someone from one location to another by choosing the simplest and most effective path. We'll explore 3 principles of prompt engineering, including the use of appropriate action verbs, detailed and precise instructions, and well-structured delimited prompts. When asking the model to perform certain tasks, opt for action verbs that explicitly guide the model's task, such as write, complete, explain, describe, or evaluate. Conversely, avoid using ambiguous verbs like understand, think, feel, try, and know, which might confuse the model's understanding. A prompt asking the model to think about deforestation is ineffective. While the model generates some output, it remains vague and the prompt needs greater clarity on what is being asked. For example, we can use an action verb to guide the model to a specific task, proposing strategies to reduce deforestation. When crafting prompts, we'll want to provide specific, descriptive, and detailed instructions about context, output length, format, style, and audience. A prompt asking to tell us about dogs is too broad. However, when we ask for a description of the behavior and characteristics of golden retrievers, we get a more precise answer with the details we've requested, including characteristics and suitability for families. Another key principle for writing effective prompts is to specify the structure of the result, giving indications on how many paragraphs, sentences, or words we aim to generate. To limit output length, we can use the max tokens parameter, which enforces a strict token limit but may result in incomplete responses. Specifying limits in the prompt, such as maximum words, sentences, or paragraphs, can be bypassed but ensures complete responses. A prompt might contain instructions and some input data to operate on. For example, in text summarization, the instruction would be to summarize a given text, and the input provided would be the text that needs to be summarized. To craft a well-structured prompt, place instructions at the beginning, use delimiters like parentheses, brackets, or backticks for input parts, and specify the delimiters used. This helps the model locate the input. In this example, we use triple backticks to delimit the input text for summarization. Instead of including long inputs within the prompt string, we can use Python's f-strings to embed a predefined string. In this example, we define the variable text, add an f before the prompt string, and place the text variable in curly brackets inside the prompt. This incorporates the variable's content into the prompt. We'll be frequently using this format in the course. Time to practice.
Good. All right. Okay, so is this prompt effective? Proof engineering is about declaring clear and concise prompts that guide the behavior of a language model to efficiently produce the desired output. Previously, you have learned about prompt engineering principles and what makes a prompt effective. Now it's time to put your knowledge into practice. Here are a prompt, and your task is to classify from as effective or ineffective. Based on the principles you now know. Write a paragraph of 2 or 3 sentences about artificial intelligence that can be understood by a high school student. It's effective, it's clear. Write a poem about ChatGPT. It's too vague. There's no audience defined. There's no limits defined. Ineffective. Write a poem about ChatGPT of 50 words maximum, explaining how it was built and highlight its importance in today's world. Yeah, this is pretty well defined. Audience. No, it's not. There's no audience, but at least it's like it's specifying topics. No, it's not too broad. Write a few sentences about artificial intelligence. Super broad. Can give you anything. Write a comprehensive guide containing the top 10 steps to prepare fresh graduates for an interview. Which interview? It can be effective or ineffective. It's not defined which interview, like for which field. Okay, so if we compare this one to this one now, I think this is ineffective. Like, think about the steps to require for think about the steps required to prepare for an interview. That's ineffective. But if you compare it with this one, which is like write a comprehensive guide containing the top 10 steps to prepare fresh graduates for an interview, that's a good one. All right. Excellent. Use the limiting prompts with f-strings. You're a junior developer at a dynamic startup that generates content with the help of AI. The company believes this technology can revolutionize storytelling, and you're excited to be part of it. Today, your task is to generate a continuation of a story with a limited prompt using an f-string. The OpenAI package, the getResponse function, and the story variable have been preloaded by you. Yeah. So we have preloaded the OpenAI package and the getResponse. So the prompt should be get, I don't know, let's define it into 3 lines. Let's say now here what we are going to do is you are an expert storyteller. Please complete the story delimited by the triple backticks. And then I'm gonna put three, and then this is the F function. And then I'm gonna do the incomplete story. So I guess this is how I make the incomplete story. The F string. Then I will do get response here, and then here I'll do the prompt, but because of the fact that I am using an F string, I will need to do incomplete story to equal once upon a time there was a wolf in the middle of the woods. Okay, I'm just gonna copy all of this because normally this happens that I need to reload the page. Okay, let's how to define an F string in Python. I need to remember some concepts about how to define this F string in Python. So I need to define it before. Okay, so in 1 second I'm just gonna finish this and I'm gonna close all the windows. I just don't wanna interrupt my flow. Yeah, so this should be the story. Here I have the prompt with the story. Here I get a response and I print the response. So that should be it. Awesome. Now it works perfect. Now let's test it into submit it. We're good. Now let's go into here. It's gonna be called story completion, and this is going to be here. And then I need to do Python for yeah, so here it completed the story. I mean, here should be two prints, the original one and generated. So it's good. We're good. Now let's jump to the next lesson. Building specific and precise prompts. In the previous exercise, you generated a text that completes a given story. Your team was happy with your achievement, however, they want you to follow specific guidelines when it comes to length and style. It's now to craft a more specific prompt that controls this aspect of generated story. All right. So basically, it's asking me to put more guidance into here. So I'm just gonna copy this, copy the response, get response prompt. All right. I need to put here now, make sure it is only 2 paragraphs and that it follows the style of Shakespeare. Okay, so now we're basically giving like more defined. Now we're just giving more definition to our prompt, so it's more precise on what we're gonna get. So this should run okay. Okay, let's. Don't tell me it didn't save it. Jesus, mate. Prompt. Make sure it is only 2 paragraphs and that it follows the style of Shakespeare. And the response should be get response. Then a run code. Then I submit the answer and should be good. Nice. And this should be, this is the number 5. I don't know why I put 4. Item 5. So now it should give me a more defined and just max 2 paragraphs with the style of Shakespeare, right? Oh, wait. I didn't updated this prompt into my local, so that's why it still show me like lots of paragraphs. Nice. Now it's okay. Now it's okay. I saved it and then I'll run it again. Okay, now it's two paragraphs. As for the Shakespeare style, I'm not sure, but as for the number of paragraphs, I think it worked good. So now we need to jump into the next lesson. All right, let's watch the next lesson: structured outputs and conditional prompts.
In this video, we will focus on creating structured outputs and using conditional prompts. Language models don't naturally generate structured outputs without explicit instructions. However, sometimes we need the output in a table, list, structured paragraph, or custom format. Let's see how to handle these cases. To generate a table, we should clearly mention the expected columns. For example, to instruct the model to create a table with 5 action movies, we specify the columns title and rating. This ensures the output meets our requirements. A list is another format, helpful for enumerations. For example, if we ask the model to generate a list of the top 5 cities to visit, the output will be a numbered list of cities. We should explicitly mention specific requirements for how the output list should be formatted in the prompt. If we ask the model to generate an unordered list, the output will not be numbered. To get structured paragraphs, we should explicitly mention format requirements in the prompt. For example, here we ask the model for a paragraph with clear headings and subheadings about the benefits of exercising. We see how the output is formatted with 3 headings: introduction, physical health benefits, and mental health benefits, along with additional subheadings. When a custom output format is needed, one approach is to break down the prompt into parts. Here, we define an input text, such as the opening of a fairy tale about a boy named David. We then instruct the model to generate an appropriate title and specify the output format for the text and title. We combine the instructions, output format, and input text in the final prompt. This ensures the output meets our requirements, providing a title for David's adventures with the original text in the requested format. Sometimes we might want to incorporate some logic or conditions in our prompts. In this case, we use conditional prompts with an if-else structure. If a condition is true, perform X, otherwise, perform Y. Suppose we want the model to suggest a title for some provided text, but only if the text is in English. To do that, we explicitly mention this condition in the prompt. If the text is in another language, we tell the model to inform users that it only understands English. Now, for a French text describing my favorite season, the output will be I only understand English. We can incorporate multiple conditions in our prompt. For instance, we might tell the model to generate titles only for English text containing the keyword technology. If the text is written in English, we check if it contains the keyword. If it does, the model suggests a title. Otherwise, it responds with keyword not found. Non-English texts are treated just as before. Now, for a paragraph describing a forest, the model tells us that the keyword was not found. Let's put this into practice.
Nice. Okay, generating a table. Imagine you're a developer working for an online bookstore known for extensive collection of science fiction models. Today you have a task at hand. Create a table of 10 must-read science fiction books for a website homepage. It will enhance the user experience on the website, helping fellow sci-fi enthusiasts discover their next great read. The OpenAI package and the get response will already defined and preloaded. Create your prompt that generates a table of 10 books with columns title, author, year that you should read, given that you are a science fiction lover. Okay, let's do it. You are a science fiction book expert. Please generate a table with 10 recommended books that are a must read for science fiction lovers. Remember, the table should contain the following columns: title, author, and year. So I get response prompt. So now I'm generating a table, as you may see here, which is nice because normally you might think that we can only get text, but we can have the outputs in many different formats. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do six table generation, and I'm going to copy this here. And then I can write this into Python 6 table generation. And I should get a similar response, but with the table format, which is basically what we got there. Nice. And it includes the columns that I required. Okay, so let's submit the answer. Okay, this is not the incorrect submission. You just need to reload the page. Okay, let's do this and let's submit the answer. Does your prompt contain or record information? Okay, this is weird because it's saying title, author, and year. But it's in the hint it's telling me that I should also include gender. This wasn't mentioned here. Okay. Let's go into cloud for this exercise. I'm getting this error. This is my code. I don't know why I'm using Fable 5, but okay, doesn't matter. Just in case I don't need to use Fable 5, I can use any other thing. So it's basically like making a keyword pattern matching. Okay, so I guess I need to then must read science fiction. Yeah, the must read science fiction books with columns for the title, author, and year. If that's the case, that means that it's let me reload the page. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I don't really know where's the error here. I get everything right. Let's just copy this prompt to see what I got. Okay, this is the hint. Okay, let's just copy this prompt. It's really annoying because I think it's making word checking, and I don't really know exactly what do they mean by that. Title. Generate a table containing 10 books. Maybe maybe it's checking the 10 instead of the number. Maybe it's checking maybe it's checking the text. No. It should provide an answer. For, maybe I need to be more explicit. Books in science fiction. Now you need to generate then must generatable. You're an expert on books and science fiction. Now you need to pick up 10 must-read science fiction books. With that information, you need to generate a table. Let's make it output format with columns for title, author, and year. So I guess I need to output format. Okay, parameters. Output format. Table. Number of books. 10. Genre. Science fiction. Column names. Title, author, and year. No, no, I don't know, guys. Like seriously, I don't know what. I don't know how to finish this. Okay, I know it works, but I'll figure out in the next lesson. No. Okay, you work as a developer at a startup that offers text analysis platform for content creators. Your platform helps users automatically categorize and format their content. You are now working on a new feature that detects a language of a given piece of text and generates a suitable title in that text in a custom format. You decide to craft a prompt that guides the language model through this. You open a package and the get response and a text variable have been preloaded for you. Create the instructions for the prompt, asking the model to determine the language and generate a suitable title for the preloaded text. Said that it will be provided using the triple backsticks. Okay. So I guess that this should be the instructions plus the output format. Then the instructions should be you are an expert in title generation. And for what was it? It was for content creators. Given a piece of content, please detect the language and generate a title. The following: 1. Language. 2. Text. Language. And 3. Title. So here define instructions, here the output format, here the response, and then here I get the response. And here I'll parse the text. Triple backticks. Okay. I'll separate line. Create a final prompt by commanding all parse and the limited text to use. Yeah, it should be good. Yes, as it was saying, text, language, and title. Good. And then I need to submit the answer. Probably it's gonna tell me something and I don't know what's gonna. See, it is really doing like strict. Literally strict word checking. It's a really strict regex. Yeah. I think I really don't like this because it's giving me like a sense that it's making like a super strict regex. I guess in this course you should give it like a similar answer. Also try to check it somehow the answer with some LLM, because my answer was still okay, I guess, unless it was saying like, okay, maybe I should be more strict with what they wanted here, but it's my opinion. Okay, so let's do 7, and this is going to be output customizing output format. And in here I'm just going to copy all of these, but as you might have realized, there is no text here, so I'm just gonna create a text. The text is gonna be breaking news, AI is taking all over the physical world. Sensors have been connected to quantum chips, and now they are running by their own. Okay, so I put the text, so it it should give me that I am generating this in English language, and it should give me the suggested title for that. Nice. Title: AI Revolution, Quantum Chips Empowering Autonomous Sensors. Interesting. Super nice. So answer submitted is good. Now I have more. But guys, I'm gonna take a break because I also need to close my windows because it's raining as crazy. So see you in a while. I'm gonna take a break and take some coffee, and then I see you in some minutes.